Well, I was talking to someone recently, and this topic came up of the affliction of jealousy. And the idea that we don't talk about that so much in this community. So first of all, I kind of questioned that. But then I thought, well, you know, we list off, we talk about our craving pretty openly, or our attachment pretty openly, and we talk about our anger pretty openly, but I think it might be so that, you know, revealing the jealousy is a little bit harder. It's a little bit harder. And so I'm curious a little bit to think about that, and is that so? I mean, is there anybody here who does not have the experience of jealousy coming up? 0 hands. Not one single person. So is there anybody here who has not, you don't have jealousy? Have jealousy that come up? Ever had it? Yes. Has anybody here not had it? Anyone here not had jealousy come up? Yeah, so no volunteer. Anybody here have jealousy come up? Just to be clear. Every single person. So what kind of things do we get jealous about? You name it. What? I mean, specifically what? What? Other people's good qualities, their talents, their opportunities, other people's praise, other people's kindness. Okay, because that's their good qualities, right? And I didn't get it. Right? What else? Their stuff, other people's stuff, other people's appearance, people's good health, people's youth. Yeah.
I find myself becoming jealous, and I encounter people who have what appears to be a better childhood or relationship.
Oh yes, the good childhood, the good relationship, the good family, the good opportunities, the better friendships, things like that. Right. So what's happening when jealousy is arising? It's painful, right? But what's happening? What's going on in our mind? What? Right, I'd rather have that than them. What else? Comparison. Right. So is there anybody in their practice this morning who did not say, may all sentient beings have happiness and its causes? Not every sadhana has it, but just about. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. And yet, as soon as we see somebody happy, for any number of reasons, right? So I think it's not, maybe it's slightly invisible. I mean, is there some shame around jealousy? That's the other thing. Is there, that's more shameful than anger? Well, our anger is harder to hide. Is there jealousy, actually? Right, pride kicks in, and it's harder to say I'm jealous of you, because why? You're still comparing, and we come out less. We come out less. If I say I'm jealous of you, then automatically I've put myself lower, you're higher, and my whole identity about being not such a good person comes up. Is this right? Yeah? Yeah? How can I be superior if I'm lower? And of course I need to be superior. So do you think pride and jealousy always go together?
I think the thing that happens before the comparison is I'm not feeling good about myself. So maybe it's that opposite side, like the wisdom side.
The inverted pride, yeah.
Because otherwise the comparison doesn't even come on days I'm feeling good about myself. It's like I'm good.
Okay, so I'm already not feeling good about myself, so then the comparing mind creeps in sneakily, because it's not like we're walking around with a checklist in hand. It's in our mind somewhere. We're comparing ourselves to somebody else. and then because we've already put ourselves lower to begin with, then and then we're miserable.
And the kicker is that we're jealous about something very specific to an inadequacy that we specifically feel about ourselves. It's not like I can look at people and the person, I'm not jealous of their good looks, but if they're getting enough praise, it's a very specific comparison and a very different sense of not getting enough or a sense of inadequacy around. And people forget.
Okay, so it's a sense of inadequacy or not getting enough, something that you already feel that you're not getting enough of, or that you feel inadequate about, and then you see somebody else gets it, and that kicks in the comparison. Could we say that then jealousy is related to our own unmet needs, if we wanted to take it to the nonviolent communication question for a moment and go, something about some unmet need for myself, some sense of not getting enough praise or not getting enough, self-acceptance, yes, but if I have a need for connection and I see all these people look like they're having friends, but I'm not, so bad enough I feel bad, and then I have the jealousy kick in. Does that make sense as a thought?
I go to sadness really quick when I see people with loving relationships. I'm around family a lot, and when I see these very, very really happy families, and I get sad for a while.
Right, and then does that sad, so if you're around happy families that you didn't have, and then you go to sad, then does that go straight to self-pity? And then does that take us into jealousy? I mean, does self-pity have some sense? I mean, yeah, it's a question, yeah. Yeah, well, it can go to dark depression. Do they deserve that? No, I do. What? Yeah. So jealousy is an angry mind, and it's one of the derivatives of anger, I think. Yeah. Well, it's an interesting thing to bring out of the closet and kind of into the open air, because, of course, what is the antidote? Rejoicing. How easy is it to go from jealousy to rejoicing in 60 seconds? Not. So what's the pathway from feeling jealous to rejoicing? Yeah, what do we have to do? To accept ourselves, accept the situation, accept... Yeah, self-empathy around precious human life. I think first we have to actually recognize it. I don't know that jealousy is always that recognizable unless we're trying to pay attention to it. We can call it something else. We can call it many something else's before we recognize that it's jealousy. I think that's my experience of it. But then to go, oh, I'm jealous, then what? What are my good qualities? Or, yeah, what? Yeah.
Respectful of them and to look at them and do not blow this big story up. So actually, when I then look at the person, I say, oh, be nice with that, or they're not all that joyful, but I actually look at them. It's usually a concept in my mind that I'm reacting to. I actually look at the person and, look deeply and say, well, this praise or really wow. For me, it's acceptance of being.
Right, so recognizing that you're jealous, analyzing that you have this whole story about how blissful and happy they're going to be because they just got what you want. So having respect, going to that, what's the Nagarjuna quote exactly?
Being respectfully mindful of
By being respectfully mindful of another when giving, one overcomes jealousy. Yeah, so going to respect, and that helps for you take away the storyline, so you can actually see the reality of, here's a person having a moment of happiness. Here's a genuine person having a genuine moment of happiness. How nice. Yeah, that's lovely. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel that I have some sense of understanding. I mean, because there's anger behind it, I can feel that. And the opposite of anger is kind of getting connected to a certain thing, kind of a certain desire. I feel a certain
Yeah, so work with the anger by making the connection and seeing their kindness and letting that part go away. And then the jealousy, you're not comparing anymore? Is that what happened?
Yeah, I have to work with still.
Yeah, but if you do that work, then making that connection with a person changes it. Yeah. Yeah, nice. Only kindness is left. Oh, that's a nice thought. So cultivating contentment in yourself with what you have, whatever, and then you don't need what they need to make yourself happy. You don't need what they have, or what they just got to make yourself happy. That's nice. Well, let's cultivate the antidote, and maybe bring this affliction out of the closet, because I think there's really no way that you can live with people and have the afflicted minds that we have and not have it come up. And so, and I think at some point too, it's kind of worth looking at the shame inside ourselves. What's the shame of having jealousy? Because as long as we have that, then it's too hard to accept that we have it. If it's a shameful thing, or I don't want to be jealous, then I don't want to reveal to you myself that I have it. Then we can't work with it. So anyway, I appreciated the prod from the person that brought it out. And anyway, we've all got it. We can own it and work with it together.